It's a glorious day in Barcelona as we prepare for the final race of the season for the 2015 Euroformula Open, and the next 45 minutes or so will determine the destiny of this year's championship. 17 laps around the home of the Spanish Grand Prix are the final challenge for the drivers this season. Well, it's hello from myself, Ben Evans, to a beautiful day. 20 degrees, glorious sunshine, but a very stiff breeze as the cars are forming up on the grid ahead of this, the final race of the Euroformula Open season. The championship is all but Vitor Baptista's. He just needs to make it through the race without getting into any sort of disciplinary trouble, and the title will be his. However, Konstantin Tereshchenko, if it all goes desperately wrong for Baptista, could still wrestle it away from him. Tereshchenko, yesterday's race winner, lines up in pole position. Alongside him is one of the wildcards this weekend, the DriveX school run car of Ferdinand Habsburg, and the Austrian driver was impressive in yesterday's race, absolutely blistering in qualifying this morning, was at the top of the timesheets all the way through the 30-minute session. Third on the grid is the Mexican driver Diego Menchaca, yesterday's rookie race winner, who has been having an excellent run in to the end of the season. Menchaca still seeking his first outright race podium. Yukanamaru was runner-up in yesterday's race, and the Emilio de Vallota driver in pursuit of his second win of the year to complement the one that he picked up at Silverstone. Very interesting wild card in fifth place. That is Dani Juncadella, the Mercedes DTM driver, former European Formula 3 champion and Macau Grand Prix winner. Sixth on the grid then for Vitor Baptista and RP Motorsport. He just will be hoping that the next 17 laps go by in a relatively trouble-free fashion. Once more, row 4 is all Team Westtech, but today it's Tanart Sathienthirakul who has out-qualified teammate Yarin Stern. Stern then lines up in 8th place and will be hoping, like Sathienthirakul, to finish the season on a high and maybe with another podium. Thumbs up from Yarin as we will take a check at the grid in full in just a moment's time as the crowd get ready for the action. The grid being cleared of all but the last mechanic with the battery to get the cars fired up. Here's how line up then, with Tereshchenko and Habsburg on the front row, then Diego Menchaca and Yukanamaru on row 2. Could be very interesting in the charge towards turn 1. Dani Juncadella in 5th, just clear of Vitor Baptista, who made a magnificent getaway in yesterday's race. Then Sathienthirakul and Yarin Stern on row 4. Ling Kang lines up in 9th, just clear of Damiano Fioravanti. Then it's Sam McLeod for Team Westtech, another wild card, and Igor Wililko, who should progress from 12th. Leonardo Pulcini isn't on the grid in 13th place, so Candidati Casiri's all alone on row 7. Then Enrique Baptista and Anthony Patak, both hard chargers, should come through the field. Andres Saravia will be disappointed with 17th, as Jose Manuel Villalta from 18th will chase his first rookie podium finish, and it's Ahmad Al Ghanem who completes the grid. The cars are fired up, and as we were saying, the race 17 laps or a 35-minute time limit if we do see the intervention of the safety car. Well, yesterday's race showed us that the start was absolutely critical, and the run towards the first corner is going to be key as the cars get the green flag now and head off on their formation lap. Last opportunity to get some heat into the Michelin tires and see how the track conditions have changed. We've got one car in trouble that hasn't got away on the formation lap. That is Sam McLeod for Team Westtech. The Marshals looking to try and push start the Dallara F312 chassis. Unfortunately, despite the I think what they're going to do is push him, in fact, through a gap in the pit wall and into pit. So there you see the Drivers' Championship. Now, it is a little bit more complicated than that because of the implications of dropped scores. Now, both Baptista and Tereshchenko have only had one retirement this year, and they've got to drop 2 scores. And that means that even if Vitor Baptista didn't finish today's race, he'd still be credited with 10 points to his tally, because essentially the non-score would be one of his drop scores, and that makes it very, very, very difficult for Tereshchenko to overhaul him. However, if Baptista were to be embroiled in some sort of contact, then that could all change. The other dynamic, of course, to say is this is the season finale in the Spanish Formula 3 Championship, which comprises the 6 races from Jerez, Estoril, and this weekend in Barcelona. Now, in that championship, it's Tereshchenko who has got the advantage very much in his favour, and provided Tereshchenko finishes ahead of Vitor Baptista, or indeed if Tereshchenko finishes in the points, then that will be enough to give Konstantin Tereshchenko the Spanish Formula 3 crown. So plenty to look for and discuss as the cars on this formation lap. Now, the other key today is that it's very breezy, and it's given the drivers a pretty stiff tailwind along the start and finish straight. It also means that there are some hefty crosswinds through turn 3, turn 9, turn 10 and turn 11. As the cars just head through the chicane in the formation lap. We're seconds away from the start of the final race for the Euroformula Open for 2015 here at the circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia. The championship is on the line. Pride and honour going into the winter is on the line. This promises to be hugely entertaining, but as ever here in Barcelona, the start is going to be absolutely key. We've got one car starting from the pit lane. That is going to be Sam McLeod. So he didn't fire up on the formation lap. There is Anthony Patak, who just rolls to his marks towards the tail end of the grid. Once Ahmed Al-Ghanem is in position, then we will be about to go racing. Al-Ghanem runs to a halt now. We watch for the marshal at the rear of the field, who waves the green flag. So it's eyes to the gantry for the last time this year. The revs rise, the lights go on, and away we go. It's a brilliant start from Ferdinand Habsburg, also well away from Dani Juncadella. But it's Konstantin Tereshchenko who takes the advantage as they sprint towards the first corner. Up into second place has come Diego Menchaca. It's all go for third. 3 wide, in fact. Kanemaru launches to the inside, but it's Juncadella from Habsburg, then Kanemaru, Vitor Baptista, Sathian Thirikul and Stern. It's Tanat Sathian Thirikul who runs wide heading into turn 3, bumps back across the traffic, fortunately gets avoided by everybody, although Damiano Fioravanti was a little bit held up by that one. So Tereshchenko takes the lead early on from Menchaca, Dani Juncadella, then Habsburg, Kanemaru, Baptista, all fighting for ground in these first couple of corners, because they know that thereafter it might be quite tricky to be able to gain too much ground. These cars so evenly matched in this stage of the season. The drivers know their capabilities very well. Andras Saravia looking to the inside of Tanat Sathian Thirikul into turn 7 as the pack climb uphill out of 8 into turn 9. There is Sam McLeod, who started from the pit lane, as it's the Campos Racing teammates Tereshchenko and Menchaca who set the pace early on. Ilgor Walilko looks to the inside of Lin Kang to no avail at turn 10. Kang, who got tangled up with Kennedy Kusiri yesterday, wanted to avoid similar trouble, so the field flick through the chicane towards the end of this first lap, and Tereshchenko trying to stretch the lead early on from Menchaca, and then Menchaca has got Juncadella, Ferdinand Habsburg closing up to him, then Kanemaru in 5th place. But in terms of championship points, Juncadella and Habsburg don't score points, nor do they block them, so Kanemaru would be getting the points for 3rd place, as now Walilko's got the run to the inside of Lin Kang, eases through. Tanat Sathian Thirikul doing much the same thing to Anthony Patak, so they both gain places. As already Tereshchenko, in pursuit of his first double victory of the season, is setting about disappearing. He's got teammate Menchaca there riding shotgun, and Diego Menchaca just able to maintain that buffer over the Emilio de Villota Motorsport car of Dani Juncadella. Ferdinand Habsburg next along in 4th. He's got Kanemaru beginning to ask all the right questions. There is Vitor Baptista, 6th on the road, 4th amongst the championship point scorers, and that is more than enough to crown him our 2015 Euroformula Open champion. Provided, of course, that everything goes as it should do over the course of the next few laps. Field out of turn 10 into long radius turn 11. There is Yaron Stern. He's in 8th place as Tereshchenko flicks through the chicane to end lap 2. Diego Menchaca. This is great from Menchaca, and he's got the advantage over Juncadella. Ferdinand Habsburg, who got away from the line so well, then just slipping back a little bit. Meanwhile, that is Enrique Baptista in 10th place. He's got Igor Wililko charging up to his tail. He's also got Candidate Kasiri just in front of him. As the pack head towards turn 1. Is anybody going to be close enough to challenge this time around? The answer is no, they're not. And the braking distances in these Euroformula Open cars are so short as well. It's really hard, particularly on a day like today where you've got a tailwind and not a headwind down the start and finish straight, to be able to really benefit from the slipstream effect as well and look to slingshot your way past the rival. Meanwhile, Ferdinand Habsburg just beginning to get on to terms with Danny Juncadella. Habsburg, who has been seen most often this year in Formula Renault 2-litre racing, escaping that absolutely monumental accident at Silverstone, you may recall, in September, as Tereshchenko turns through turn 9, runs downhill towards heavier braking area at turn 10. But the battle for 3rd place is just beginning to come together, because Vitor Baptista is giving Kanemaru a little bit of a hurry up, and Kanemaru in turn trying to close up to Habsburg, and then Juncadella in 3rd, just managing his pace in these early stages, because what we have seen throughout the course of the year is the control compound Michelin tire that they run on. If you push it too hard early on, it does bite you later on in the race. And possibly Juncadella just managing his tyres a little bit more, but you can see that Habsburg was right underneath the rear spoiler of the Emilia de Vlota Motorsport Run car as they came through the final chicane. Enrique Baptista has a wild ride across the AstroTurf. Cross the line they come. This completes lap 3. And here comes the challenge. Habsburg right behind Juncadella. Juncadella covers the inside line. And Ferdinand Habsburg might just have this if he keeps his footing around the outside. They go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Habsburg takes evasive action. He rejoins, having gained the place from Juncadella. Now that might just provoke some conversation in race control. Habsburg would say he wasn't given the racing room. Juncadella would say it was Habsburg's job to back it off. And now Kanemaru looks to the inside of Juncadella. Meanwhile, Ferdinand Habsburg does indeed give 3rd place back to the Spaniard. And Vitor Baptista, champion-elect, is part of this scrap as well. And Baptista looks to the inside of Kanemaru into turn 5. And Vitor Baptista, does he go through? His wheels almost interlock with the Japanese driver as they swoop downhill. And he still can't find a way through. And then just behind Baptista, that's Damiano Fioravanti riding shotgun as well. And Yaron Stern joining into the fight too. Great fighting in these early stages. And now they've got another overtaking opportunity into turn 10. Don't think Habsburg's quite close enough to Juncadella. Indeed, he's not. Baptista certainly close enough to Kanemaru. Launches to the inside. Do they give each other racing room? Yes, they do. Kanemaru runs out wide. Vitor Baptista, though, backs off. He realises that he possibly didn't give Kanemaru the space. And the last thing that Baptista wants is any sort of disciplinary eye being cast upon him. That really is the principal mechanism by which he could lose the championship. Out of the final turn. Here's another look then at Habsburg's challenge into turn 1. Juncadella turned through as Habsburg was fully alongside, took evasive action and kept his foot in. He did give the place back to Danny Juncadella, as now Baptista lining up for the move on Kanemaru. He's not quite close enough, and again doesn't want to take the risk. But these have been 2 of the preeminent drivers throughout the course of the season. Kanemaru, who has been very impressive as well on his forays into Formula Renault 3.5 litre racing towards the end of this season. But as he fights with Baptista, what it's allowing is Juncadella and Habsburg to rather break away. It's also bringing Damiano Fioravanti and Yarin Stern into the fight as well. Head downhill towards turns 7 and 8. Flick left, then right. There is Menchaca in second place, Juncadella in third, Habsburg in fourth. Then we've got Kanemaru from Vitor Baptista. In terms of the rookie podium, by the way, that is currently Menchaca from Kusiri and Wililko. There's the situation in terms of the Drivers' Championship, but that doesn't really take into account. I think it does take into account the impact of dropped scores. But even if there was to be a retirement here for Vitor Baptista, then he would still get 10 points, as it would be 2 retirements he'd be dropping and not his other worst score of a 5th place. So across the line for Terashenko, then Menchaca in second place. Habsburg trying to come back towards Juncadella. Kanemaru consults his mirrors, looks to see where Vitor Baptista is. The answer is that Baptista is there, and because Juncadella and Habsburg aren't eligible for points this weekend, this means it's essentially the battle for 3rd place in the points fight. So lots of intrigue to consider as Ferdinand Habsburg in the DriveX School for F312. They've had some help over the summer from Pedro de la Rosa in getting that car set up, the former Arrows, McLaren and various other things besides F1 racer. There is Damiano Fioravanti, currently in 7th place, and Fioravanti, of course, victorious in race 2 at Monza. There is Terashenko, his lead over Menchaca, just about 2.5 seconds. Now, is Menchaca slipping into the clutches of Danny Juncadella? The timing screen would suggest that yes, he is, because Juncadella was almost half a second quicker than Diego Menchaca last time through, as Wililko looks to challenge Enrique Baptista on the brakes. 2 drivers for whom compromise is not a word that's in their dictionary. They are both very good racers, but also tough racers as well. They swoop downhill towards the end of this 6th lap of the race as Wililko makes the mistake, straight lines the chicane out front onto lap 7. Konstantin Terashenko leads from Diego Menchaca and Danny Juncadella. Baptista defends from Wililko into first corner, and Wililko again taking evasive action, leaps across the curbs. He's going to have to give that place back to Enrique Baptista, which he'll probably do on the way in to turn 4. That's the next opportunity really for Wililko, just to back off the pace. That might provoke a conversation in race control. Wililko, Baptista running side by side. Hugo Wililko defends the position, so he'll feel that he went and didn't gain an advantage. But now Enrique Baptista looks to challenge anyway into turn 7, reclaims the position. It's going to bring Tanat Sathian Thirikul into the mix. There's Sathian Thirikul, the blue car. He's also got Ling Kang just behind him as well. And this a very lively race to bring the season to an end as Vitor Baptista looks to the inside of Kanemaru into turn 10. They both run out very wide as Kanemaru keeps his foot in, but now Baptista gains the position. And that's been several laps in the making. So Vitor Baptista gains the place. Kanemaru slips down into 6th on the road and is immediately to the attentions of Damiano Fioravanti. Now, what is particularly interesting here as well is whether or not Kanemaru and Juncadella have gone with the same setup, which means that Juncadella's car may also begin to go away from him as the race unfolds. Meanwhile, it is getting very frenetic a little bit further down the order as Enrique Baptista defends once more from Igor Wililko. Sathian Thirakul looks to the inside of Ling Kang and gains the place. Wililko this time keeps it within the track limits, but his team manager has been summoned to race control as a result of the incident of a lap ago. So Igor Wililko could be staring down the barrel end of a fairly disappointing end to his season. As now a challenge, that is Anthony Patak to the inside of Ling Kang. Patak in another of the RP Motorsport cars, eases past the DAV entry. It also leaves the door open as well for a little bit of a challenge from Andres Saravia. Saravia can't quite find the space as still this train of cars bottled up behind Enrique Baptista. Great to see Enrique going so well and en route to the points potentially. Out of turn 9 towards turn 10. This is another opportunity for them all to have a little bit of a sort out, but nobody quite close enough to launch a bid this time around. We're on lap 8 of 17, so rapidly approaching half race distance. Glorious day here. Circuits Barcelona, Catalunya. It's Baptista. Enrique Baptista, that is, glides the car through the chicane. This is the fight for 10th place that we are currently following. Diego Menchaca, well at the front of the field, can inform you he's just set the fast lap of the race as we have another look at Vitor Baptista's pass on Yun Kanemaru. Shows the respect that's grown up between the pair of them through the course of the year. Millimetres in it, but they didn't make contact. And they both squeezed through. Well, there is Menchaca, who is on a bit of a charge. Here comes Ferdinand Habsburg in fourth, just behind Danny Juncadella in third. And Habsburg wants this podium. Juncadella has got his mirrors filled with the Austrian driver, Ferdinand Habsburg. It's a very, very interesting family history, does Ferdinand Habsburg, coming from one of Europe's oldest families. And then we have got gap back to Vitor Baptista. Now, is Habsburg going to be close enough to challenge on the way into turn 10? He's not quite close enough, is he? No. So he just has to manage the gap to Danny Juncadella, but Juncadella, you get the feeling, is just having to, I wouldn't say fight the car, but he's suffering from understeer on a couple of points around the circuit. But the Emilio Vlotta driver picks his way through final chicane, swoops through. This is to complete the 9th lap of the race, so over half race distance. And Diego Menchaca and Konstantin Tereshchenko, well, for the Campos Racing team, this would be quite something to do the double in their home event here in Barcelona, and also to have a 1-2 this race. But the fight for third is really crackling into life, and there is certainly a question about whether or not Vitor Baptista, Juncadella and Habsburg really start battling, will be able to close down the 2 second or so gap that he needs to participate in it. Juncadella, very, very experienced at this level and beyond, knows exactly where he needs to position the car for each and every turn, and as a result he's going to put the onus of all the hard work on to Ferdinand Habsburg. Habsburg, though, tries to close up and almost does so, in fact, as climbs out of turn 8 towards turn 9. You just see with Juncadella minimal steering input, letting the car do the hard work, because these Euroformula Open cars, strange as it may seem, have, relatively speaking, got far more grip than power, and therefore it's corner speed that's all important. It's very hard to out-accelerate your rivals. So it's all about just keeping that very high average speed through the lap. Well, there is Yu Kanemaru in 6th position, and Kanemaru, who started the season as one of the pre-season favourites on the back of some very impressive winter testing. It's not quite gone that way for him, but he has always been there or thereabouts throughout the campaign. And Damiano Fioravanti, 7th place, just beginning to ease clear of Yarin Stern in 8th. Well, that last time through, Vitor Baptista half a second quicker than Juncadella and Habsburg, and as a result, he is bringing with him for company Kanemaru. So the fight from 3rd down to 6th, just beginning to close together again. But Habsburg is now in that really difficult point, which is where Danny Juncadella knows exactly where he is, and he's bottled up in that turbulent air behind. As into the pit lane comes Enrique Baptista. That's a great shame to see. Also pitting at the same time was Igor Wililko. It's a new nose cone for Enrique Baptista, and he fires up and heads off down the pit lane. Our race leader, Konstantin Tereshchenko, has been unheaded all weekend in the Euroformula Open. It has been a remarkably strong performance from the Russian driver, who really has been one of the stars of the season. Over single lap pace, Tereshchenko has been unsurpassed. And he has got that advantage over teammate Diego Menchaca. This is the fight for 10th place. It's now headed by Tanart Sathian-Thirikul after the demise of Wililko and Baptista. Also involved Anthony Patak, Ling Kang and Andres Saravia. And they've got behind them, trying to close up onto their tail, Sam McLeod. There you just caught a glimpse of McLeod. Fight for 3rd arrives into the opening turn once more, as confirmation that Tereshchenko has set another fastest lap of the race. Well, there is Vitor Baptista. Now, last time through, Baptista was running at the same pace as the fight for 3rd. So that slight elevation in pace from Juncadella and Habsburg just maintains that 1.5 second buffer over Baptista and Kanemaru. Of course, the other dynamic to watch in all of this is going to be whether Juncadella or Habsburg can possibly set about reeling in Diego Menchaca in 2nd place. That is a gap that has come down over the past couple of laps. Of course, as the graphic is telling you, if things stay as they are, then Vitor Baptista in 5.5 laps time will be the 2015 Euroformula Open champion. Baptista just controlling the gap to Kanemaru, staying just out of his sights, but not really reeling in the group of cars in front. Coming to the end of lap 12, Konstantin Tereshchenko leads the way from Diego Menchaca and Danny Juncadella. Five laps remain, and still we have got this battle ongoing for 3rd place. Still we've got Vitor Baptista trying to close up to it, but he's unable to do so. All the while, though, this quartet of cars inching ever closer to Diego Menchaca. But there is remarkable consistency of pace amongst these front runners. Everybody up in the top 6 last time round either did a 1:42.7 or a 1:42.8. It's only when you got to Damiano Fioravanti in 7th, who offered a 1:43.2, was that pattern broken. It shows the level of competition at the very front of the field, and it shows the consistency of performance from the drivers as well. It's often been a happy hunting ground here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for RP Motorsport. They took Nicolo Schiro to the crowd several seasons ago. Sandy Stuvik had already claimed the title by the time we got here last year, as Jose Manuel Vilauta encounters some trouble. That's just over towards turn 12, and his car is stricken at a very awkward point on the circuit. It's being covered under waved yellow flags at the moment as the marshals scramble. It's just a distraction that the race leaders could do without. Tereshchenko, Menchaca, Juncadella, Habsburg, Baptista all through, though without any problem. There is Alex Palou Campos Racing's GP3 driver, who finished third in the Euroformula Open last year. Watching from the pit gallery. We're into the closing laps of the Euroformula Open season here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Konstantin Tereshchenko is our race leader, as he has been since the start of the race, but we have got a battle coming together for second position, because Diego Menchaca has had his pace dropping away over the past couple of laps, and he has now very much got Dani Juncadella closing up onto his tail. Juncadella, in turn, just easing away from Ferdinand Habsburg in fourth. In fifth place is Vitor Baptista, and if he stays there, then he will be our 2015 champion. In sixth place, it's Yu Kanemaru. Seventh, we've got Damiano Fioravanti. Eighth is Yaron Stern. Ninth is Kandati Kasiri. And 10th is Tanart Sathien Thirikul. Diego Menchaca also, of course, our top rookie from Kasiri and Patak, as it currently stands. Juncadella, last time through, 0.4 of a second quicker than Menchaca. We've still got waved yellow flags on this section of the circuit, although the recovery of Jose Manuel Villalta's car, at least from the track itself, is completed. This is to complete the 14th lap of the race, just 3 remaining. And Konstantin Tereshchenko doing all that he could possibly do. He's got fastest lap, pole position, and potentially the race win, all to his credit. But at the same time, Vitor Baptista doing all that he needed to do. For Baptista, really, the championship was won in that remarkable run of victories that started in race 2 at Red Bull Ring and then went all the way through to Monza. It was just enough to build that buffer over Tereshchenko. Well, here in second place, Diego Menchaca is having a race that is finally rewarding the pace that he's shown all year. Start of the year, his single lap pace has always been there, but his consistency in the racing has improved with each and every round. Although he's not been able to challenge teammate Tereshchenko. Barcelona today, he has been able to stay with him, and also, more importantly, Menchaca has just been able to dig deep and reopen his advantage over Dani Juncadella. Juncadella, as well, has just turned up the wick a little bit and has eased away from Ferdinand Habsburg in fourth. But Habsburg, in turn, is able to match his pace to that of Vitor Baptista. So the effect of all of that is that, barring some sort of disaster, the positions are looking reasonably secure into these late stages. Tereshchenko embarks on the penultimate lap. And Diego Menchaca has given away another 0.3 of a second to Juncadella last time through. You can see the gap between those two cars appreciably less than it was. There's also Yu Kanemaru considers just closing up to Vitor Baptista once more, but Kanemaru not able to challenge into turn 1. But Baptista's advantage over Kanemaru as they went across the line was only 0.6 of a second. Really, Baptista would just like to get through to the checker flag without any undue concern or drama. But even so, if Kanemaru were to find a way past, that should be enough to secure the title for Baptista. Well, Tereshchenko looking so smooth, and when he's at his best, Konstantin Tereshchenko never is wringing the neck of the car. It just always looks beautifully controlled. Vitor Baptista came for this first season of racing in Europe very, very highly touted after a fantastic season in Brazilian Formula 3 last year, but he's been learning these European circuits as he's gone and is surely going to be a name to watch as his career progresses. But now he is getting very close to the tail of Ferdinand Habsburg in fourth place. I just wonder whether or not Habsburg, he went off out of the blocks very hot early on. He spent several laps in that turbulent air behind Dani Juncadella, whether or not he's possibly got through the very best of his Michelin tyres. Well, there is Habsburg. Baptista. He's got Kanemaru snapping in his heels. They are about to start the last lap of the season. Now is Kanemaru going to be close enough to challenge into turn one? The Drivex team waving on Ferdinand Habsburg. He's not going to be close enough to Danny Juncadella. And Kanemaru also not quite close enough to challenge Vitor Baptista into the first corner. That's good news for Baptista. That's one potential passing point done and dusted. Be very unlikely for Kanemaru to challenge through turn three, possibly coming out of turn three into turn four. You can see that that's where Habsburg is really struggling. It's those high-speed corners with lateral G-forces. It's where the tyres will be protesting the most. And also, this is a long race in faster cars than, a longer race in faster cars than Ferdinand Habsburg has been used to. And so possibly just might be feeling a little bit of fatigue from the pace of running at the front of the field. For Konstantin Tereshchenko, however, this has been an absolutely immaculate weekend's performance. It has been a wonderful battle throughout the year between Tereshchenko and Baptista for the Euroformula Open Championship. Tereshchenko has given everything he could this weekend and has done all that has been asked of him. However, after Monza, it was a little bit out of his hands, and as he heads into the final couple of corners, Tereshchenko is going to win the race, but Baptista is going to win the championship. So Konstantin Tereshchenko accelerates through. The checker flag is ready and waiting, and Tereshchenko does the double in Barcelona. He takes the win to the delight of the Campos Racing team. But here we go. In fifth place, Vitor Baptista takes the checkered flag and is the 2015 Euroformula Open champion. RP Motorsport celebrate. Vitor Baptista celebrates. Second place went the way of Diego Menchaca. Third to Danny Juncadella. Fourth was Ferdinand Habsburg. Baptista was fifth. Kanemaru in sixth. Fioravanti seventh. Yaron Stern eighth. Kensty Kusiri in ninth. And Tanart Sathianthirikul completing the top 10. So an excellent race to conclude what has been a brilliant season of competition in the Euroformula Open. Bittersweet weekend for Konstantin Tereshchenko. He has won the race. He has also won the Spanish Formula 3 Championship as well. So it's, well, he didn't quite win the Euroformula Open crown. He has won the Spanish Formula 3 Championship. But Vitor Baptista is our 2015 Euroformula Open champion. This teenage Brazilian has had 6 wins on his journey to the crown. He has been on the podium in all but 3 races. Such has been his remarkable consistency throughout the year. And Baptista receives the congratulations of Diego Menchaca. Menchaca, our top rookie today as well, as that second place finish. Let's take a look at the results then. So Tereshchenko winning it by almost 3.7 seconds from Diego Menchaca. Danny Juncadella on the podium in third, ahead of Ferdinand Habsburg, then Vitor Baptista and Kanemaru. Damiano Fioravanti, Yaron Stern 8th, Kensty Kusiri, our second rookie, and Sathianthirikul completing the top 10. Anthony Patak rounding out the rookie podium in 11th, clear of Ling Kang and Andres Saravia. Sam McLeod recovering to 14th after starting from the pit lane, but sadly we lost along the way Igor Wililko and Jose Manuel Vilauta. So in terms of the championship, well, it was very, very close as we got to the wire, but Vitor Baptista always had just enough in hand going into the weekend, and he is our 2015 champion. Such has been the competitiveness of the season. We've had 20 drivers who've been in the points at various stages in the season. There is Tereshchenko as he heads towards Parc Fermé, where he will be greeted by a jubilant presence from the Campos racing team. Terashenko has had one of the most exemplary weekends we have seen in the Euroformula Open for quite some time. It means that he has also taken 6 victories for his 2015 season. And he is the Spanish Formula 3 champion as well. He runs into the arms of the Campos team. Now what will, of course, 2016 bring for Vitor Baptista and Konstantin Terashenko? Adrian Campos congratulates Diego Menchaca, who, if he returns to the series next year, will surely be one of the championship favourites. Campos again offering his congratulations to Terashenko. We will hear from our race winners fairly shortly.
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
As Menchaca and Terashenko, teammates, share their congratulations, and Junkadeya completes the podium. Konstantin Terashenko, a double winner at the final event of the season for the Euroformula Open, but there is our champion Vitor Baptista receiving the congratulations from the RP Motorsport team, from his rivals. There's such wonderful camaraderie in the Euroformula Open paddock, and the celebrations, sure, will go on long into the night. As the RP team converge en masse to say well done to Vitor Baptista, who celebrates with some donuts. So third place for Danny Junkadeya, withstanding that pressure from Ferdinand Habsburg. Fine performance on a one-off appearance in the Euroformula Open. A great second place for Diego Menchaca, really his just reward after working very hard throughout the course of the season. And our race winner, Konstantin Terashenko, he does the double in Barcelona, and we will now hear from our race winner.
Konstantin Terashenko, another win, double win here in Barcelona, a perfect way to finish the championship.
Yeah, this is a good way to finish the championship, but we don't win the championship. We work it next year and another series, but this is good season for me, and I too much learn. All good.
Yeah, it's very good for your future also, so you are not too disappointed.
Yeah, this is good end of the season.
Thank you. And we have also the champion, Vitor Baptista. It's done. You must be very happy.
Yeah, job done. I'm really happy about the team, about all my comportment during the season. I'm really happy. I have just thank you all the team and everybody that helped me along this year.
The Barcelona weekend was a little bit nervous, maybe, or?
Yeah, I think we didn't have a car that was so strong like the other tracks. I think that the team has a little bit of difficulty to do a good, the perfect car here, but we could do the enough points to be champion. So I think it's done for today.
Well done. Congratulations. Parabéns.
So very happy Vitor Baptista and Konstantin Terashenko. What will the future hold for both of them? So the preparations for the podium begin. We'll take a look back at the highlights of a fine race to bring the season to a close. And off the line, Terashenko converted pole position perfectly. Habsburg was jumped by both Menchaca and Junkadeya into turn one. And Kanemaru was also trying to sneak through. The early stages were pretty frenetic, and there was some great battling going on between Vitor Baptista and Yu Kanemaru, who eventually decided in favour of Baptista, but it took him a couple of goes. There was also a fierce tussle between Igor Wililko and Enrique Baptista. Pair of them changing places for several laps. It brought quite the queue of cars into the mix as well, including Ling Kang, Andres Saravia and Anthony Patak. Out front though, it was Terashenko who drove an immaculate race, pole position, fastest lap and the race win. He does the gentleman's set in race 2 in Barcelona. He wins the Spanish Formula 3 championship, but it was Vitor Baptista who was able to do enough to claim the Euroformula Open title with a 5th place finish. Runner-up and top rookie was Diego Menchaca and Dani Ukadea completing the podium. Terashenko enjoying the congratulations of the Campos team as we head on to the final podium of the season. Dani Ukadea showing his experience by reaching straight for the cork on the bubbly. Runner-up, Diego Menchaca, his best result of 2015 and a great way to go into the winter. And Konstantin Terashenko, double race winner for Campos Racing, Barcelona this weekend. And Adrian Campos onto the podium to represent Campos Racing. The Russian national anthem salutes Konstantin Terashenko, who has had an immaculate performance to win the final race of the Euroformula Open season here in Barcelona. As we move on to the presentation of the trophies, 3rd place, Dani Ukadea and Emilio Valotta Motorsport. Runner-up, Diego Menchaca. And that will be a very welcome addition to his trophy cabinet. A moment of great pride as well for Campos Racing. The top 2 places and both race victories. The overall race win for Konstantin Terashenko, top rookie for Diego Menchaca. So Terashenko gathers his rivals on the podium for the photographs. And then it will be time to enjoy the celebrations and bubbly. So the champagne about to fly on the final podium of the season for the Euroformula Open. And Terashenko douses Menchaca in Freycinet. And wonderful scenes to celebrate the end of the Euroformula Open season. Of course, it will reconvene on the 23rd and 24th of April 2016 at Estoril. Now we move on to the final rookie podium of the season. And it was Diego Menchaca who claimed rookie honours alongside that excellent 2nd place overall. Menchaca has been one of the top rookies throughout the course of the season, has really had a superb weekend here in Barcelona. Vitor Baptista may stop smiling some point in December as he leaves Barcelona as the 2015 Euroformula Open champion. We have the applause as the drivers announced on to the podium very, very shortly for the final rookie podium of the season. The Campos team all ready, of course, to cheer Menchaca. Don't forget to visit the Euroformula Open website throughout the winter for all the news about driver announcements and the plans for next year. But we will be kicking off in late April, the 23rd and 24th of April at the Estoril circuit. And we'll have a new class of Euroformula Open drivers looking to do battle for the 2016 crown. For now, we have got a rookie podium, third place for Anthony Patak, a very hard-fought race for Patak. Runner-up, Kanditi Kusiri, also for RP Motorsport, and then a rookie winner, and that is Diego Menchaca, who has had double rookie honours this weekend here in Barcelona. And the Mexican driver takes his place on the top step of the rostrum. Mexican national anthem for Diego Menchaca as we head into the final round of presentations for 2015. Third place, Anthony Patak. That was a pretty ferocious battle that he was involved in. For Kanditi Kusiri, it was much the same. He takes a fine second place amongst the rookie runners. For Diego Menchaca, it is the rookie double here in Barcelona, and as the trophies are presented, it means that it's just about time for myself, Ben Evans, on behalf of everybody in the Euroformula Open paddock, to say thank you very much for joining us for all the action in 2015. We hope that you've enjoyed the season as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. We will see you at Estoril in 2016. Until then, it's goodbye from Barcelona.